Our first presenter, Alejandro DeHoyos, is a filmmaker. Alejandro DeHoyos is a powerhouse of energy. He's a husband, a father, a humanitarian, a missionary, and an Emmy Award-winning filmmaker focused on global motivation and human conservation. In addition to filming the San Antonio Spurs courtside, Alejandro travels the world with organizations to advance their mission with impactful cinematic storytelling. Alejandro's feature films and TV series have screened at festivals on 5 continents and on television in 135 countries. At home, he invests in his local community by offering workshops, screenings, and internships. Please welcome to the stage our first presenter, the fabulous Alejandro DeHoyos.
Hello, hello. I think I got it. I think they made a mistake letting me go first. I always felt as a Latino, it's not a problem for us to speak, it's just a problem for us to end. So thank you, I'm just very honored to be here and to be here with such amazing people and presenters, people I've admired from afar, and people who are here in support of our efforts, so we thank you. It was the 46th day of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and bombs are falling on the city of Lviv. By this time, 5.5 million refugees had escaped the country, and over 1 million volunteers entered the country. I was one of them. I was honored to film and serve with multiple humanitarian teams from all over, like Awakening Europe and Solid Rock Mission, a ministry that was delivering goods and aid to conflict areas. And it was there that I realized fighter jets were flying overhead, and I realized, what am I doing here? So I grew up in San Antonio with an Air Force base in my backyard, with an interest in all things technology, science, and aerospace. So I'll never forget the time I came into my mom's room and picked up her camera for the first time. I thought I'd stepped into a whole new world. But I was eager for real experience. So when I was 12, I didn't tell my mom, and I jumped on a bus, and I drove 9 hours to Faith Pleases God Church. And there, Pastors Clark and Carlos Ortiz let me run the cameras on their biggest show of the night. It was there that my fire of a gift ignited. In my summers, I would spend time volunteering with local film productions and making short films. And this led to an internship with KLRN PBS station. And there, Mr. Roy Flores gave me a chance, and he let me try everything and be on every production. And it wasn't long until they hired me as a freelancer. It was a big moment. I grew up with NBA Jam, the Dream Team, and Space Jam. So you can imagine how I felt when the Spurs gave me a call to fill in on their TV broadcast crew. I was also in second period band. So I had to skip school, I snuck out, jumped on a bus, went to the AT&T Center and worked my first broadcast game. A lockout a few years later sent me to Catholic Television in San Antonio. And there, with a camera and a backpack, I went with theology students to Israel and to film their adventures. Upon my return, I created a 14-episode TV series that was just epic. It was awesome. But it changed my life forever. It made me realize that feature films were within reach. Then my dream to film the NBA Finals became a reality. And I got to celebrate in the confetti, and I even got a championship ring. And then I jumped for joy when they asked me to join their creative team full-time. Working with Spurs Sports and Entertainment was fast-paced, creative fun. We got to do a lot of things, and I really enjoyed how they empowered us to give back to our community. And I took this and started giving workshops all over, from my former elementary school all the way to ESPN headquarters for the producers of Sports Center. It was fantastic. Then in Kenya, I joined a team called First Responders Ministries as they preached and fed villages all across Uganda and Kenya. And there in Kenya, I saw modern day slavery, and I saw mismanaged water management. And it empowered me that I needed to do something. That led to Pastor Kevin Ortiz giving me a call And he said, come with me to film in the largest slum in Africa. So I went, and that was the genesis of my film series, Passport Preachers, where I follow missionaries on missions all over around the world. It was in India, I remember, that I got to film with the grandson and great-grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, Arun and Tushar Gandhi. And it was there that I saw how one person can really be the change. And it was also there that I saw modern-day slavery out in the open with no problems, no justice. And I was in Uganda when a preacher from Pakistan joined us on our mission trip. And he shared with me the most horrific stories of modern-day slavery. So I looked it up, and I realized there's over 28 million people currently enslaved globally. Can you imagine that? And so I knew I had to help. So 2 years later, I came up with a plan. And I called my friend, evangelist Sherry Ballard, and she mobilized her team in Pakistan. And together, we were able to help not just one slave, but 30 whole families and set them free from slavery. It was amazing. So I realized a change had happened. A change had happened in my life where I was no longer just working, but I was giving my gift. And I realized that I could give my gift in exchange for storytelling and be able to live the experience of my host and provide them with videos to raise awareness and gain support. It was a 36th day of the war in Ukraine when I found myself at the Poland border with a colleague and Dr. Ed Gamboa. He vouched for me to Rescuers Without Borders, and I volunteered with them, capturing their work and helping where I could. And then a call to help in Ukraine came, and I answered. That's how I found myself part of a covert network of drivers, delivering aid all across to Ukraine, like food, bulletproof vests, flak jackets, tourniquets. And it was there that I saw that I joined Unbound Now, and there we fought human trafficking. And with my own eyes, I saw one of my team members almost trafficked, and I stepped up and did something about it. Then, as I drove around with different organizations delivering supplies, I had a chance to sit down with some local Ukrainians, and they thanked me for my service, and they asked me, their only request was, don't forget us. My friends, a change happened in my life. No longer was it just the work, but now it was me using my gift of the camera for good. And I wanted more. And I think there's more that we can all do here. We all have a gift, and that gift can change the world. Together, we can make a difference, not just for the future of our humanity, but for those most in need. I wonder what your gifts are. Thank you, people. You want to come with me, Peyton? There.
I would love to.
Get your passport.
Okay, bingo. So, start with a hard question here. And I heard you mention it several times, and I'm sure others are wondering in the audience. And we all see, we all see what happens on TV. We all watch the news. We all occasionally hear about the atrocities in Africa. What does modern day slavery look like? Can you sum that up? I know. Can you sum that up for us?
I can. It's the lowest of the low, living outside with no home, no shelter, abused every day, taken advantage of, and it's in the darkness that this evil lives. And when I saw that for the first time, I knew I had to do something about it, and it took some time. Good things take time, but we were able to set free over 30, and hopefully more by this time next year.
Well, with a ripple starts a wave, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, when are you going back to Ukraine?
Where's my wife? I kind of skipped her slide, so I owe her a lot here.
When are you going to send her to Hawaii so you can
Yeah, no, I just want to say I'm just very thankful to my wife. She knew it was a big step when I stepped out on faith and I left sort of that Spurs career and started traveling the world. But without her, this couldn't be possible. And she's seen the missions, she's seen the testimonies, and it's her help that's affecting people all over the world. So, honey, I love you. I see you.
On an also geographical, yet a little bit lighter note, what is the hardest place to pronounce you've ever traveled to?
Vishakhapatnam. It's in India.
They make a cream for it now.
It's a wonderful place. It's in the jungles. It's in the jungles of India. Yeah, you should come with next time.
Hey, okay, perfect. I'll bring my cream. And lastly, Beatles or Stones?
Beatles.
Okay, well, there we go.
Thank you, guys. Love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alejandro DeHoyos.